Alright everyone, what's up? My name is Andre, and this is Lego Island. The feed should be coming up here in a second. A little skip we do, skipping right through the barrier. But you'll see the sign actually says no pizzazz when playing as Pepper. That's because he's actually dyslexic, so he gets his letters jumbled up, but he's also very good at math, so that evens things out. Each of the characters has a different strength and weakness, and different voice lines from the Brickster whenever you go and talk to him. So here, the Brickster is now on the loose, so we have to go and track him down and stop him. And now is a good time to showcase one of the cool little time saves that came up recently. And that's using a controller. There's an in-game config.exe in the game's installation directory that has an option to enable joystick. So if I accelerate with joystick, you can see it's, you know, pretty good. But then keyboard acceleration, if I try that, it's much slower. So I'm able to use both the analog values of a controller for higher turning precision and just faster acceleration to save a ton of time throughout the run. So now is the first of the two big RNG sections. The Brickster stole the ambulance and the helicopter we built, and he's going to be dropping different parts to the helicopter so that we can rebuild that later. So there's a few different places he can run off to. It looks like the first place is going to be the racetrack, so I can show off a little time save, hopefully. As long as I don't hit any walls here. He's going to drop a piece and then speed off and then slow down. And then if you catch up to him when he slows down, he'll drop another pice. That might get interrupted by him going to a destination. Nope, I got it. So I got there right before he dropped it. So now he's going to drop another one there after visiting the destination. So that's a pretty good time save there. So we're heading off around the back of the island here. Typically you want him to stay on this side of the island because this is where the ending sequence is. If he goes off towards the jail, he can end up losing a lot of time, but hopefully it doesn't. Just now we're dropping one more part, and then it'll be on to the hide and seek section, the other big RNG section, where he's going to leave the rest of the parts of the helicopter in a bunch of different places around the island. I think there are around 10 to 11 spawn locations and 4 parts that he's going to drop. So you're going to get this last part right here. I'm going to wait a little bit before turning around and chasing after him, because if I'm too close in his personal space when he drops the part, or when he slows down, he won't drop the part. So I have to back up a little bit and then re-enter his sort of personal bubble. So now we're on to the hide and seek section. He's going to go down by his little cave here, and you're going to hear a loud and annoying whistling sound. Thankfully it's loud and annoying, so I can use that to listen in and determine where the parts spawn. I think it spawned up high, so I get to show off a cool little skip here. Normally, you would have to walk up this mountain or this hill, and there's a long twisting pathway up. But I don't want to do that, so I'm going to be going over here and hitting a very long line of sight on it. And I'm going to hit such an angle where it's going to be visible for about 1 to 2 pixels. If I can get it here. There we go. If you didn't see that piece there, that's okay. Neither did I. So now we've got one around the back here, and then 2 more after that. Now this game only runs in 640 by 480, so it is kind of hard to see long distance objects. You usually only get about 1 to 2 pixels of them if they're even loaded in. So here I get to showcase another advantage of controller, which is using the D-pad. You can actually use that to rotate the camera angle. So I'm going to do that to grab this piece over here. And listen in for the last one. I think it's over here by the jail. And like I said, this is very RNG heavy, so you can lose a lot of time to this. And it's spawned in the worst possible spot, all the way behind the police station. So once we pick up this piece, we'll go back to the helicopter building to rebuild it. Now you're supposed to just rebuild it and then fly it, but we can actually just leave, and it progresses normally anyways. So here, I'm going to be dropping some pizzas and donuts on the ground to lead the police and the Brickster towards each other. So I'm going to make a line for both of them to the middle of the island here.
I gotta tell you, this looks kind of funny, like raining donuts.
The donuts, you can kind of drop them wherever, but the pizzas have to be dropped relatively close to the Brickster, or else this will happen, where a shark just pops out of the ground and just eats it. Also, tons of really funny gobbling noises, really funny to listen to. So it looks like Nick Brick is catching up over there. Just gonna shoot a couple more pizzas this way. So I'm gonna try to get the Brickster stuck by spamming pizzas. And Nick is not following along, so I'm gonna throw up some more. There we go. So now we're on to the rest of the missions in the game. That's the main quest done, Brickster back behind bars, and we get to go help the rest of the people around Lego Island. So here we're off to the hospital, and I got the hat glitch. I clicked on him a little bit too fast, so the hat didn't actually spawn, and that's what lets you drive the car. Just gonna wait a little bit before clicking there. There we go. So here we have to go rescue someone choking at the pizzeria, and then someone jumping off of the police station. So we're going to run over some cyclists here and help this guy out. And run over them again on the way to the police station. We have to tell them to jump onto this little barrier, because that's somehow safer than just hitting the ground. And now back to the hospital. And that's that mission done. Gonna hit the dock from all the way over here and build ourselves a little boat. We're gonna use this on a 2-lap race around the island. Oops. Whoa. Okay. Part kind of disappeared there. That was funny. And there we go. So we're gonna click on this and click on this little tiny buoy over here, and we get to start the race. This is one of 2 races around the island. These are the longest 2 missions in the game. This one is really funny because there's a lot of cool little details. The way Belinda kind of rides around, dude doing rodeo on a shark, just a bunch of little details. And that's one of the things I love about this game, is all the charm and fun little details that the developers put in. It really shows they really cared and put a lot of effort into it. Which is a huge shame, considering that the entire development team got fired a day before this game released, so the development company could avoid paying bonuses. It looks like they did have a lot of ideas for a potential sequel, but those never came to fruition. A different development team ended up picking that up, and they made the next 2 games in the series. We'll be running the 3rd game, Lego Island Extreme Stunts, later today. And then if you want to see the sequel on the Game Boy version, that is a donation incentive run, so make sure you get those donations in for that if you want to see that. It's a very quick game. It's about under 10 minutes, thanks to a pretty big skip that skips probably 2/3 of the game. And the run kind of goes from 0 to 100 really quickly, so it's really fun. It's coming up on the end here. And now we're off to the shortest mission in the game, thanks to another barrier skip like the one at the beginning.
Awesome!
Just gonna click on the gas station from here. Click on the hat. And we have to deliver the racetrack, which is right next to us, and there are a bunch of barriers in the way, so normally we have to go all the way around the island. But if you just come to a complete stop in front of any of those barriers, and then you keep going, you can just pass right through them as if they're not there. And that's that one done, and off to the racetrack. This is the final mission. We have to build ourselves a race car, and we'll be racing down and around the island, and you get to see what's actually underneath Lego Island. Got a really good buildable pattern here on this race car. It's actually my favorite pattern.
Yes!
Infomaniac saying yes there? That can rarely happen. I don't know why.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines, please, and go!
This is one of the few times I'm actually going to be using the arrow keys for movement. The steering sensitivity on the race car is really, really sensitive. So I will actually hold forward on the keyboard in order to lock in my line and keep a straight line, or else I have to try to make little micro adjustments left or right like this. So here you can see we're now under Lego Island. There's a giant skeleton, there's a giant shark, and a space shuttle flying around. I don't really know. Lots of goofy stuff. This giant skeleton can be a huge pain. It has really deceptive hitboxes on its feet, and it can just kick you off if you're not careful. Now, another thing about this game is the, speaking of the turn speed on this car, it is quite high. There is a bug that actually causes the turn speed to be tied to the frame rate. And since this game is from 1997, on a modern computer, it runs at well over 1,000 frames per second. So I'm using a tool called Lego Island Rebuilder to cap the frame rate, because traditional methods like RebaTuner just don't work for this game. And that lets you do other things like run the game in windowed, and it fixes a couple bugs. That's made by Matt KC and Ramen2X, so huge shoutouts to them for that tool. Capping the game to 60 is basically required for that earlier helicopter section, or else it doesn't work properly. Also, yes, I can honk. Here you go. That's a race car horn, I guess. Yeah, there's a lot of weird things, like these little Brickster Infomaniac tiles. I don't really know what they do. Some of the obstacles do get in your way, like I'll hit this ghost here. It's supposed to slow you down quite a bit, but controller acceleration just kind of lets you keep going at full speed and just not really worry about those obstacles. Coming one last pass by the skeleton here. Don't trust that, so I'm going to turn around and kind of wait for it to go. If you get kicked off there, it loses either 25 or 45 seconds, depending on which direction you get kicked off. So it's definitely worth to sort of wait up. This giant octopus here doesn't seem to do anything. He's just kind of there just for the vibes, I guess. He's pretty cool. Give us more honks on the horn. So time is coming up here. When I cross the finish line, I'm going to bounce backwards. I'll call it out here. And that's time. That is the whole game done. I think that was about 13 minutes. Not bad. So I'm going to go off to the info center here and show off the scorecard that shows Pepper's line complete, and that is Pepper percent.
When you win a race or deliver a pizza, you'll earn your break.
So that is the whole game. Again, first Lego Island game. I'll be back again later for Island Stream Stunts, the third one later. And yeah, I'll catch you all later.
If you need more information, you can count on
Fantastic.
you can click on me. But you can
Thank you so much. And yeah, well, let's go take a look. Next run coming up, Lego Star Wars: A Complete Saga Unseen Kaizo Mod Race. So we'll be waiting a bit on that, taking a quick break before, and then getting right to it.